Bro, what the hell is up with Pokemon, okay? We already talked about Gothita a couple weeks ago. I was playing Pokemon Go a little bit on the toilet this morning. I already have a Pokemon called Stunkfish, okay? He looks like a bear trap. Then I saw a glitched Pokemon. He was 1 pixel tall. It looked like somebody imported a sprite from Beautiful Joe into the real world. This guy's Stunkfish too? Yeah, he looks like Wide People Happy, exactly. There's two Stunkfish. One of them looks like a bear trap. The other one got stepped on by Bayonetta. Yes, please. Yeah, they're different forms. What the hell? From different areas. They're running out of animals, man. Got a damn Pokemon looks like a gumball machine. We got a Pokemon that looks like a Lockheed Martin quadcopter. It never ends. They ran out of animals Gen 1. Realistically speaking, okay, I know, look, honestly, obviously, I know that there's what, tens of millions of species of animals. You include all the insects. The insects probably have like 1.5 million species all, on their own. But like, if you were to go down to brass tacks, species is not what you would use to delineate animals for a normie. For a biologist, sure. But like, for a normie, there might only be like 250 animals. I'm trying to think. Look, insects. There's like 8 insects for normies: beetles, ladybugs, termites, cockroaches, ants, caterpillars, bees, flies, fruit flies. There you go. You're basically there. Then you throw in a spider, ticks. Okay, mosquitoes. That's it for insects as far as I'm concerned. Gnats? No, man, that's just a fly. Dragonfly? Okay, I'll add dragonfly, but it's close. Grasshopper? Okay, all grasshoppers, crickets, praying mantises as well. Wasps are bees, fireflies are flies, hornets are bees. Bedbugs aren't even an animal, they're a bacteria. So that's it. We've collapsed 1.5 million species of insect into like maybe 12 different insects. Okay. Now do fish. There's probably 200,000 fish species. Nah, man. There's like tuna, the big one that like the huge one, the ocean sunfish. I think that's honestly, I might just say it's tuna and fish. Like I know there's salmon looks like a fish on the outside, but it looks like salmon on the most interesting thing about salmon is that its meat is pink. Obviously there's so many different kinds of fish, but I'm just saying in terms of the ocean, you get fish, shark, whale, dolphin, jellyfish, octopus, which also includes squid for the record, and then anything with a shell that lives on the bottom. And that's it. Okay, manta ray, turtles, ocean turtles, sure. Sea cucumbers, I'm going to put that into the shell camp. Things that your aunt won't eat is a big category. Awful bit. Okay, we got Carolus Linnaeus in the chat. Everybody should know it's called Pisces afflorensis. There's a huge difference between Pisces afflorensis and Pisces afarensis. That's why we named them one letter different. Go back to fucking nerd school, you nerd. Okay, there's 1.5 million fish species. What have they done for me lately? Fucking nothing, dude. I mean, keep like the biosphere in check. Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Keep the world's climate functioning the way it's supposed to go. Okay. What do you mean being intentionally dumb is my favorite bit? This bit is actually smart. What's dumb is you need to know the difference between every animal, especially, two very closely related kinds of fish that you'll never actually see in the wild in your entire life. What's smart is looking at something that's overly complicated for no reason and distilling it down to like a mental model that actually allows you to apply it to real life. I am very smart. Oh, the world is so complicated, I can't possibly understand it. I am very dumb. I look at a complicated world and distill it down to a series of base principles that allows me to thrive in this life. People will actually believe this. It's crazy, man. I will say there's a lot of land animals. There's got to be like at least 200 easily delineated land animals. Like raccoon, bear, cat, dog, lizards, snakes, crocodiles. We could go on and on. Penguins absolutely count. There's even, I mean, even if you just want to talk about birds, okay? A seagull is its own bird. It also does include goose, I would say, and maybe duck. But then I would say pigeons are their own birds. I would say eagles are their own birds, but those also include falcons and hawks. Hummingbird is its own bird. I would say, well, I don't know. Flamingo is its own bird that also includes herons. And then I would say everything else is maybe its own bird. Like it's just in the bird category. Oh, you know what? Parrots. I forgot about the parrots, which includes toucans and cockatoos and cockatiels. I don't know if they're different because they name them the same. Biologists are very funny like that. No, shoebill is in a different category. Shoebill is in a class of animals that I call puppets. That includes the red panda, the shoebill stork, the platypus, and the Tyrannosaurus rex. Very scientific. What about an ostrich? Here, all I'm going to say is I would put an ostrich in the same category as the flamingo. I would say like tall bird. Like a bird, there's birds that are mostly stomach, there's birds that are mostly wings, and then there's birds that are mostly legs. Ostrich, mostly legs. Pigeon, mostly stomach. Albatross, mostly wings. Those are the three different kinds of birds. What about bats? Oh, bats can be their own animal. Pelican, that's tough. There's not that many birds that are mostly mouth. Good, very good point. I guess like a toucan is mostly beak. Yeah, okay, bats are mostly wings, but the bats are not birds. You never go outside and be like, whoa, look at that flock of bats flying south for the winter. You would be like, oh shit, get inside. They're going to drink my blood. At the very least, we have to, as ecologists, you can do whatever you want because I don't know what you do anyway. But as normies, we have to stop pretending that animals that are the same are different. Like if I have another person who works as like an accountant say something like, "Oh, it's not an alligator actually, it's a crocodile." Just fuck off. It's the same thing, okay? They're the same animal. As far as I'm concerned, if like an 8-year-old can't tell them apart, it's the same animal. Oh, it's not a frog, it's a toad. That's not an Atlantic salmon. That's actually a sockeye salmon. That's not a crayfish. That's a crawfish. Like, get over yourself, man. That's not a cow. It's a bull. Okay, well, then how did I get this bucket full of milk? Turtles and Tortoises is different because there's a Sesame Street episode about it, where Elmo sings, "Turtles live in ponds and streams. Tortoises live on land. Sea turtles live in oceans." Then the turtle goes, "That's me." Elmo thinks that's really grand. Anyway, that's pretty much all I got. What the hell? Do almonds have breasts? I don't know how to answer that question. Is this like a new I Can Has cheeseburger meme? Do the chickens have large talons? Good monologue? Dude, I'll take it. Hold on, I'm being robbed. I'm not being robbed. I gotta stop saying I'm being robbed because the delivery people can hear me. This is why I don't respect late night hosts. Can you imagine doing a 5-minute monologue that was written by like 8 professional comedians every night? Oh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous to tell these jokes that professional writers wrote. How about just go out there and just do some crowd work, man? Just go like, hey, shout out something in the crowd. They'd be like, waffles. Hey, waffles, man. Or as I like to call them, Wall Street pancakes. Like that, because then there would be risk involved. I'm not saying it would always be good, but because actually sometimes it would be shit, it would be more exciting to watch because you would never know whether it was going to be good or bad. I would be nervous to read some shit an SNL writer wrote. It's kind of insane that there's people who want to go see Saturday Night Live in New York. Like they would be in the city and they would be like, you know what we should do tonight? Let's go see Saturday Night Live. Maybe Tom Hanks will be on wearing his pumpkin pants. Anyway. Let's get some GeoGuessr going here. There's people that go watch SNL actors stand up. I watched the Schmeat Davidson stand up maybe like 2 years ago. I thought it was middling. And I don't even mean that in a negative way. I really have nothing against Pete Davidson. Although the funniest thing that I've ever seen him do was send the picture of him with his tongue out after he said in bed with your wife. I saw the Michael Che stand-up special. It was probably like 5 years ago, and I thought it was good. Maybe even better than good. I'm trying to think of the other SNL stand-ups I've seen in recent memory. Not too many. This special is good. Mulaney? I guess, look, sure. John Mulaney, I don't see him as SNL related, but that's probably not fair because I guess he's like, he used to be a writer on it. He's massively weird online, though. Yeah, I know, but like, they're talking about Michael Che, not John Mulaney. I don't think we should listen to comedians except when they're on stage. Like, I know way too much about John Mulaney's life, man. I know his wife's name. I know what she was doing, like what her profession is. And then I know that John Mulaney went to rehab. And then as soon as he came out of rehab, he was like, I don't want to be married to you anymore. But then he got hooked up with Olivia Wilde. Wait, no, Olivia Munn. Sorry, I got my Olivias confused. And then he's fathered a child with Olivia Munn, but now he's not with Olivia Munn anymore. Man, I just like the horse in the hospital bit, man. It's too much. It's just way too much. The horse is loose in the hospital. I watched that. I chuckled to myself and I say, haha. We don't need to make them into trending topics. Who's to say? You can always just say that. Who's to say? Tell the story about how you just stand up in front of a bunch of old people. Okay, well, it's not really like a great story. I don't even mind telling it because it makes me seem like much more confident than I am. But I went to an open mic with a friend of mine in college. We were in our junior year. It was like 20 years old, maybe. And we left ourselves like 2 hours to write a 5 to 10 minute set to debut at the open mic. And I wrote like some really ageist stuff about how like every problem. It's actually the irony is it's an ageist bit, but it's kind of aged well because more people agree with me than they ever have before. I was inspired by watching the local news and realizing that just about every problem with the city that I lived in was caused by people over the age of 55 with nothing better to do, being like, well, we can't add a bike lane here. Where would I hypothetically park my car if I ever left my house? Anyway, I might have taken it a little further. I got on stage and I bombed. And like halfway through the bit, somebody shouted, "My grandma's like 62. Do you think she should be dead?" And I was just like, well, I'm just up here trying to tell jokes. And I got shellacked, right? Like it was not, I mean, there were only like maybe 30, 40 people, but it did not go well. And then my friend got up and just straight up ripped off like at least 5 to 10 jokes, including the cock push-up joke from Tenacious D, and he brought the house down. It was one of the worst nights of my life. That's when I learned just steal jokes, and that's why I can't play a game like Rogue Legacy 2 without having chat open. Now, the irony is like 2 weeks later, we did the exact same thing, and he did okay, and I killed, but I don't remember anything about that night. I only remember the night that I bombed, and then I never did it again. It's 9:30? What the hell? It was not Josh. I have other friends. The only reason you haven't heard of them that much is because I haven't talked to them since 2010. But we're like really close. It was not Malf. We didn't even go to the same university. Full screen GeoDuels. That's where we're at here. Okay. Slash marker. GeoGuessr. Yes, I have slept in the same bed as Malf. In fact, at one of the deck jans, we had 8 men to a single hotel room. And I slept in a bed with Josh and one of our mutual friends. It was a queen-size bed. All 3 of us fit in the bed. And then the other queen-size bed had 3 more people in it. And then 2 people slept on the floor. Except after the first night, one of them was like, that was uncomfortable, so he slept in the damn bathtub. But, I mean, we were staying in that Super 8 in Chinatown in Toronto for like $10 each a night. This is a pretty sick deal, all things considered. Okay, here we go.